Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Campus Safety Voices. I'm Robin Hattersley, Editor-in-Chief of Campus Safety. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we are going to discuss how safety training in a school district can bolster safety not only in the schools, but also in the community at large. But before we do that, I just want to remind all of you that this presentation is brought to you by CampusSafetyMagazine.com. We have a ton of free resources that will help you make your school, institution of higher education, healthcare facility, or any other type of campus for that matter, safer and more secure. So be sure to visit CampusSafetyMagazine.com for our latest news, articles, webcasts, white papers, videos, and podcasts. You can also register for our free newsletters on CampusSafetyMagazine.com. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter. You can also listen to our podcasts on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. All of these links are listed in the session's description, so be sure to check them all out. So now I'm pleased to introduce you to today's guest, Sheriff John Merchant of the Brown County, Kansas Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Merchant developed the Teen Lifesaver Initiative, which has trained and certified nearly 2,000 high school students, teachers, staff members, and area residents on the American Heart Association's First Aid, CPR, and AED Heartsaver program. This is just one of the reasons why Sheriff Merchant is one of this year's Campus Safety Director of the Year finalists. So here we go with our interview. Sheriff Merchant, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am, and it's a pleasure being here, and thank you very much for everything you do to keep everybody informed of safety issues.
Great. Well, let's start off with just what exactly is the Teen Lifesaver program?
The Teen Lifesaver Initiative, we developed it about almost 10 years ago. We were looking for a way to interact with the high school students, give them a little different spin on how we do our jobs, and just build a rapport with them. A lot of times as law enforcement, we see them roadside or in bad situations. We wanted to work with them in a positive level. And also with the unfortunate events of the school violence in our nation, we found out this would give them a way to render aid to each other in case something bad would happen. But we wanted to find out what it was going to take, how we were going to make it come to fruition, and everything else. So we came up with the idea of let's do first aid, CPR, AED training and certify the kids, and then give them a skill that they can take with them for the rest of their life that they might be able to use, with their own families or, wherever their jobs or whatever may be present.
So why did you think your school district and community needed this kind of training? And did anything prompt you to introduce this initiative? I mean, I know we've heard about the Uvaldes and the Nashvilles and the Parklands, but did anything specific in your jurisdiction prompt you to do this?
In our jurisdiction, not really, other than we wanted to be prepared just in case. I'd rather have a lot of steps in place and never need them than have an issue happen than not have anything in place to assist with things. So I visited with our school. We've got 2 school districts in our county. I visited with the superintendents and asked them that if they would be interested in such a program, what I was thinking, and they wholeheartedly got behind this program 100%. And it really helps us to have that support of the school districts.
Well, and the great thing about this program, it doesn't just address things like shootings, which we hear about a lot, but, it's even despite the fact that we have a lot of shootings in our nation. I mean, it's much more likely for someone to, go into cardiac arrest, even students, or maybe they slip and fall or hit their head, or maybe they cut themselves, and all this initiative addresses all those needs, correct?
Yes, ma'am, it does. See, teen drivers are one of the highest at risk for accidents because driving is a learned skill. So in any case they have an accident or an issue like that, they can render aid to each other. We're also a rural farming community in Brown County. We're approximately 600 square miles. We have a population of just less than 9,300 people, and it's mainly agricultural. So there's times when I'm sure that the parents or grandparents or somebody's had agricultural accidents that the kids can render aid, stop bleeding, whatever the case may be. It also teaches to use the AED naturally, EpiPens, you name it. It's a good first aid course. It's a broad course. There's a lot of kids that do babysitting. One student had told us that there was one of the kids that she was watching was babysitting, and she was choking, and using the information that we set forth, she was able to dislodge the object in the child's mouth. So there have been a lot of success stories, and we're very glad to hear of those, and think that we had some small part in making that happen.
That's great, and you bring up really good points. And actually, this next question kind of touches on that. What have been the results of the Teen Lifesaver Initiative so far? Do you have any specific examples? I mean, you gave us one already, which is great.
Oh yeah, we've had several. We also, like I said, teach school staff. One bus driver happened to be having was at McDonald's one morning, and somebody had a heart attack, and they were able to use the techniques to revive that person. And we've had some other issues where kids have said they have used it in different instances. There was a car wreck one time where it was minimal, but there was some bleeding and stuff, and this individual was able to take care of that. Another person at a restaurant, they had a heart attack, and one of the former students was able to revive that person. So we've had a few success stories with this. And like I said, this is something they can carry with them the rest of their lives. It's at no cost to them. We have a lot of folks that are very, very, when it comes to this program, they want to see it become successful. So they do donate to this. We have grants and everything else that makes this a reality, so we can share this life-saving information with everyone.
So how did you go about implementing this initiative? And is there any advice you'd give to other districts or law enforcement agencies or universities or hospitals, for that matter, like who might want to adopt something similar, and what worked, and maybe some of the things you would have done differently?
Oh, absolutely. This was quite a project to get to fruition. I talked with many people. We had went to a lot of resources. Money is very, very important on this to get it to pull off, because we didn't have any of the mannequins, we didn't have any of the training materials, we didn't have any of the books, anything like that, and that all costs money. But what we did, we sat down, we had a plan, and what I wanted to do was have good key people become part of this program. We had our county health nurse, Carla Harder. She was on the basic group that we had started with. I had the chief of police in Horton, John Calhoun, was on there with us. I had 5 or 6 of my staff that a lot of them are retired military, retired Kansas trooper. I have one individual that's an EMT. So, and they all have a good rapport with the public, which is wonderful. So we got that started. We got all our certifications done, and then we sought funding. And I put this idea out to the community, and immediately we had a lot of very positive replies to that. We sought grants. The local pharmacy gave the EpiPen trainers, and they're quite expensive. And people came from all over to make sure that we had donations. The Ruth and Roger Wolf Charitable Trust is a very good benefactor to this program. When we first started out, we had blow-up mannequins, if you can imagine that, and we taught for 3 or 4 years with those. And the program has grown to where now we have body size torso mannequins that we use. We have a few that actually show the circulatory system, which shows the students the importance of having deep compressions to make sure that all the blood keeps pumping to all the organs in the body. So we've really expanded this in a positive direction. But it took over a year to get this from the idea stage to where we actually implemented it. I think in 2015 is when we started this in the Hiawatha High School, and we had it in the planning stages a year prior. But if anybody is wanting to do a similar program, I encourage this more than you can imagine. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. It's what we tell all our students is this is a gift we're giving you, a gift that can save a life. And hopefully they will carry that on and pass it on to maybe their kids or maybe somewhere where they relocate. But community involvement is the key. And we have a very, very wonderful community in Brown County that support us immensely. And they see the importance of this. And that's really, in my opinion, what you have to get something like this to be successful is your community behind you. And we're very, very blessed to have a wonderful community here.
Sheriff Merchant, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I guess we'll see you in a month or two.
Yes. And thank you to everyone in our audience. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, ma'am.